changes.
Life. Life.
I was fine when you held my hand. I was fine when you pulled me down. You said the stars would answer. You said our prayers were written down.
Hello people, my name is Henry Danish and this is Red Cube Everything coming at you with the week 5 matchup, the second matchup of the week. And this is a very, very interesting matchup. Obviously, these two teams are kind of some of the teams we're going to be seeing Hyper versus Moral, obviously, as you guys can tell from the title and also the logos all around me. But these two teams have not been casted very much, almost at all, this entire season. Obviously, Hyper has kind of come into the season a little bit late. They did take the spot of Complex, so they haven't been casted as much. Moro's been casted twice, so these two teams are a little bit of a shadow, I guess, kind of hiding behind the scenes types of teams. And this matchup, we're going to be seeing both of these guys go head to head. So it's going to be very, very interesting seeing them go up against each other. But as you guys all know, every time before I cast, I just make sure everything is going correctly. Again, my mic, I've been still kind of messing around with my microphone settings. I know it's been taking a while, but again, if things just don't sound correct, please just let me know. I've also just been messing with game audio and things like that, but again, guys, just let me know and I'll try to get that addressed. But on my end of things, everything is looking very good. All of the players are slowly joining the matchup, so we'll be bringing you the matchup very, very shortly. But before we get started, today we are going to be doing yet another kind of a little bit of a change. We did this last week and it worked really well, where I will actually kind of take a step back during the match phase and just spectate the entire team just to try to get as many kills and as many action plays as possible, whereas Uzumaki and Jazzman will then take over the casting just so they can focus on the casting and then I can focus on the gameplay. It worked really well last week and we're going to try to implement that once again here this week, but that's enough about how this stream is going to work. Let's talk about how this game is going to work. So Hyper versus Moral, guys. Uzumaki or Jazzman, either one of you guys can go first. What are your first reactions about this match?
Well, I haven't seen Hyper play way too much. I know that they're in a multitude of different leagues, but this is their academy team. They have a lot to prove for themselves, and I've seen Moral play a lot. They're definitely a a top tier team, but I don't know if Symmetra and Keck are new players. But if they are, you kind of have like a roster change on their end, while Hyper have been sticking with their main guys, from what I know. So, like you said, or like you said in the announcements, coming off from heavy losses,
Yeah.
they've got a lot to prove. Both teams really. And while Moral did place, I think was it top 8 last season?
Yes, they did make it in the playoffs last season.
Yeah, so they placed top 8. They are definitely a competent team, but sitting right now in 14th while Hyper is sitting in 13th, both teams have something that they need to show to the people, to themselves. They need to prove themselves right. That's what this match is all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't really seen either of these teams play. I do know that Moro was casted once against Illuminate when Illuminate was still a team, but recently Illuminate has disbanded. And I remember watching through that bot as I didn't get to see it live, but Moro was struggling a little bit against Illuminate. I do see a couple of new faces here on Moro as Gucci is no longer on the roster. But Morale just seeming maybe with the 2 new players that they picked up, maybe they're able to work out the kinks and issues that they had, and let's see if they're able to correct the mistakes that they've been making, and maybe we'll see a better outcome for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we're kind of just looking at the match here as well, is both of these guys, both of these teams, everybody and their captains, they've gone through a lot of roster changes. And I think these types of games are really interesting to see, is how much can the team kind of get together? How much of this is the chemistry going to be sitting there? Or is it going to be kind of a little bit of a mess? And I think that's this game, although these 2 teams are, I mean, a little bit at the lower end of the bracket, they still have a lot to prove here. They've been on a very tough stretch of games. They've had a very tough schedule. But I think these 2 guys going up against each other, these 2 teams are almost exactly the same in the fact also, not only are their records identical, but they also have kind of gone through the exact same story. Came into the league, they've had high hopes, but then roster changes on top of roster changes have kind of brought them back to earth and has kind of taking their toll on them. But we are going to be getting right into it. All of the players are ready. We're going to be going onto the map of Consulate, and I won't see you there. Uzumaki and Jasmine will see you there, so we will obviously stay tuned and be right back when the go maybe between maps and things like that. But we are kind of testing this new thing out, so hope it works well this time like it did last week. But I will see you guys on the map of Consulate.
First map here is going to be Consulate, as we stated. Thank you, Red, so much for everything that you've been doing so far. And we've got ourselves an excellent match at hand. This is Hyper's pick, as we saw in the ban phase. So we're going to have to, as we saw in the map pick phase, this is going to be Hyper's map and Hyper's first ban. Personally, I believe that in the ban phase, we're not going to be seeing a Mira. And that's mainly just the fact that this isn't a Mira map, really. And the first ban on the attack is going to be Blackbeard. On a map like Consulate, there's no surprise. Blackbeard can basically single-handedly dominate upstairs by himself. Hyper coming in with a very confident ban next is going to be a Lion. I mean, I don't know what to say about that at this point. Lion is probably the most universal ban operator in this game ever since the bans came out. So no surprise to see Lion off the board.
Yeah, Blackbeard's a very strong operator on Consulate. Being on those B windows of the console office, being able to just pretty much lock down not just the flank, but head glitching on windows is a very big issue when you're on the defense. And Valkyrie is pretty much one of the main bans when you're playing on Consulate, given that she has so much information with so much utility coming out from her black eye cameras. And a lot of these bans we do more normally see whenever Consulate is played.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it mainly comes down to the what, you all right?
Yeah.
You okay there, bud? You sound like you're high.
No, I'm not. Just continue casting Jasmine.
Okay. All right. Well, Miraband's a bit surprising. I'm not. I mean, not surprising, but on a map like Consulate, it's not really required that you ban Mira. She's not as heavy. She doesn't have as a heavy influence as any other, as she does on basically any other map. So a bit surprising to see her off.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So first round is going to be going underway pretty soon here. We see a Ying coming out for a console off his take. I'm assuming that Hyper was expecting Morale to be going downstairs into the garage. But either way, Ying is a pretty good operator to take for this site. She can repel on the admin or the copy room windows. If she's on the copy room windows, she can easily toss in a Candela, flash the entire copy room, including the break room, and just easily repel on in without having to worry about anyone re-peeking her.
Ying, in a sense, is almost kind of broken in the fact that it's super hard to actually counter her Candelas whenever it comes to the normal flashbang counter, which is simply looking away. Ying's Candelas seem to see a little bit of inconsistency, which is why a lot of why her flashbangs are seen way more often, and the fact that she basically has 5 in 1. So she's a very powerful operator, very good for control mainly. And if you're playing against a team like Moral, you definitely want a Ying. If you lose control against a team like Moral, I'd like to believe that you have lots to work on, because they are one of those teams that's not afraid to come at you.
Right, as first round is going to be going underway. We do see Keck playing with impacts actually on smoke instead of barbed wire, given that he does have a shotgun. I kind of agree with that, given that Mira's banned and he only has the one shotgun to work with. As Classy's fighting this drone around, he's going to be spotted out in the kitchen, making his way up the Visa stairs, trying to see if there's anyone coming around in the Visa hallway, but there's currently no attackers making their way towards him, as we did see the Ying repelling up on these B windows, as the Zofia has already made her way over towards the bottom of yellow stairs. Meanwhile, Cal is sitting on this rappel here, spotting out that Maestro camera, maybe giving, maybe Pilot can repel out, toss in a impact, and go on his way back down the yellow stairs.
Yeah, already a lot of control here from the side of Hype, making their way from top to from bottom to top, and it's very important that you get Classy out of here. He is drone, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Crater just missed him or something, but I'd like to assume that Machias is gonna catch him. I think that they definitely have. Yeah, they have
Yeah,
his
they see
location.
his legs.
So, yeah, so pulse is something you want to really get, and already a kill here from the side of Cow with half the round left. That's a great kill onto Jaeger, which means your control inside a connector is lost. Easily retakeable, not too important, but still, what is that pulse? You cannot have a pulse of Classy sitting inside of the Visa office. If you have him there, and he can, or sorry, the tellers. If you have him there, he can definitely tear things up, and you need to get
Makes
rid
sense,
of that.
yeah.
You need to use that bottom control.
Well, Pulse is pretty powerful if he's only playing in the lobby and the piano room. Given that he's currently stuck in these tellers' offices right now, he can't do a whole lot of damage. Given that given that the ceiling on the tellers, I don't think that's destructible. I could be wrong here. Wow, the first shots are going to be coming out here as they haven't drawn out the side. Meanwhile, trades are coming out here. 4v2 situation for the attackers as Classy gets the trade here onto the IQ. As Bonalax is trying to make his way towards the site. Shots are going to come out from Bonalax, but he's not going to be able to land much shots. So he is sitting at around 20 HP. Things are coming out for Bonalax to try to pick out this attacker. Plant has already gone down, and things aren't looking good here for Morale. As Bonalax is going to get fragged here, injured actually. With pings coming out, Classy is just waiting as he is going to get fragged, as he's not going to get fragged, and actually Crater missing all of his shots. Not aware that Classy was on those in the piano room. But things are not looking good for Classy here, as he's going to try to desperately maybe save the KD, pushing his way up the yellow stairs. He doesn't have much time. He does have to find the remaining attackers, but that's not going to happen. His Pilot is going to finish the last 2 defenders off to give Hyper the very first round here on Consulate.
Well, it seems like my comment on Moral having good control is well, nice shot there. Seems like my comment on Moral having good control is the opposite way around. Hyper have such good control. They're taking everything with force, with droning. It definitely seems like they've practiced. It seems like they've read over the rule book a few times. They know what they're doing. And I'm not sure if we're gonna have a rehost, but we'll get that figured out. But you use your utility properly. We saw Cow get extremely aggressive with Ying, which is something you want to do with Ying. She's a control-based operator, and to get control is to be aggressive. And I'm not sure if I don't think Hyper
Looks like we're going to be having a rehost, maybe, depending if Morale does choose to accept the rehost, and
Yeah,
looks
they
like they are. Well, that's unfortunate. First round gone, and we're already having a rehost, and in year 3, pulling up to year 4, we should not be having these issues anymore, Ubisoft. But what can you do? So we're gonna take a short break here to wait for all of the players to get back into the lobby, and we'll see you as soon as everyone is ready to go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update of exactly what is happening. So, one of the Moral players just had a random disconnect, and throughout this entire year, especially on the map of Consulate, for some reason, players just seem to kind of have their whole Uplay interface and everything like that crash. So, it might take a little bit longer here. I'm going to put the timer around 3 minutes, but we are expecting actually to join very quickly, so do not be alarmed.
All right. Well, after the unfortunate rehost, we are going to begin again with our match. With our first map here on Consulate between Hyper and Moral. Hyper did take the first map on upstairs on their attack, so we will be seeing Moral having free control on where they want to go. And I want to look at I specifically want to look at all these operator picks because it doesn't really seem like anything has changed so far. Like Crater has been on Sledge, Cow has been on Ying, Pilot's been on Zofia, Swaz has been on IQ. Macius. It's Macius. I literally DM'd one of the players on Hyper and asked them. It's Macius playing on the Habana. I mean, nothing has changed. We see Bonalax with a 6-pack on a mute, but he's been playing Legion last round. So I mean, it seems like they're very consistent on what operators they do. As we're going to be seeing Moral going onto the exact same site as they did last time. If you don't at first succeed, try again.
Right, as Hyper is actually able to blow away a lot of the people's expectations coming out and winning the round there. The first frag coming out from Cow onto, I believe it was Bailey? Yeah, it was onto Bailey the Jaeger. And Bailey, one of those strong fraggers on Moral. Just being able to be cleared off the board after the first half of the round was gone. And the way that Hyper Academy was just able to take control of the B site and get the diffuser down and bring it down to a 4v1. That was really impressive, and I don't think a lot of people saw that coming, given Hyper's recent, given Hyper's season so far. They haven't gotten off to a hot start, but so far in the first round, they seem to be a very convincing team and proving the haters wrong.
Seems like the hype is starting to build here. End my
Good
cast.
joke, Jasmine.
Hey! I mean, my profile picture isn't a Pepe with a noose around his neck, is it?
Why do you gotta mention that?
I mean, I don't know. I felt like...
Right, well,
anyway, we see Classy sitting inside of the archives, and actually he could possibly find a frag here on the Pilot or even Cow, whoever wants to take control here, because that's a very common Nitrocell spot for a Pulse of Valkyrie. Usually it doesn't work out. Many players know about it. It's probably the most used pre-prep Nitrocells. It isn't pre-prep.
I think it's a year 1 Nitrocell actually. But Classy giving out some pings here to his team as he's potentially going to go for a C4. No, maybe he gets back right onto his scanner. Giving the callouts to his teammates as he's going to go for a C4 toss, and that is not going to find anyone just yet. As I'm not too sure. He still has the C4 there on the hatch. I guess he's waiting to prep. Bonalax gets the first frag onto Cal, and that's going to be the Ying dead. C4 coming out from Classy, not able to hit anybody, as that is a very late C4, and he has given away his position. So Hyper does know that he is roaming around downstairs, but they don't know exactly where he's going to come out of. He can either come up through the archive stairs, through the spiral stairs, or push through all the way through garage and come up the yellow stairs. But only time will tell, as the first 2 minutes are going to be coming to a close here. And Pilot just patiently waiting to see if he can come get a frag to anyone playing piano. As Macius is currently making his way up the yellow stairs with Crater. They're currently going to get the single wall open, but I don't think they've even droned out the site here, or even the bathroom, as Symmetra is just sitting here trying to get these Hibana charges. And Hyper not really knowing what to do after getting those Hibana charges. Classy gets the second frag for Moral onto Pilot. That's the Zofia dead here. And Classy still sitting down here underneath the garage. Crater's trying to go for a frag as Bonalex gets the second frag for himself, and the third frag for Moral onto Swaz. That's the IQ gone, with Macius still sitting on very low HP. Running into a smoke grenade is not going to be the key, and it's all up to Crater in a 1v5 situation with 25 seconds left. Crater looks away just at the wrong time, and Classy's going to be able to get the frag onto Crater to give Moro their first win and tie it up 1-1 here on Consulate.
Already a number of advantages once the round started. You said you had Classy downstairs. Yeah, like you said, the location was well aware. Any player would have known that, oh, Nitrocell just went off downstairs. He must be downstairs. Yet they didn't do anything about it. They just kind of let him there, especially because it's a pulse. Or even if they didn't know it was a pulse, anybody with intel like that should be killed. And anybody with that sort of control should be killed. And they didn't kill him. And it came back to bite him. And losing an operator like a Ying on Cow, the first frag, I would imagine that Hyper have a lot of Ying strategies. And to lose Ying that easily is pretty tough. But we will see Cow and Swaz sort of have a role changes. Actually, the entire operator selection changing from them, as what is expected to be a garage will be instead a lobby press. The Bandit being 6 pick on out. Smart play there from Moral to kind of almost solidify Hype's correctness when all they know is that they are going in the garage, but they're completely wrong. So far, a mental game already in the hand. Got out again. Already in hands of Moral is a mental game.
Yeah, as Moro's trying to shake things up here by going to the lobby for their second choice, for their third choice of defense, after both winning and losing the console off his site. I only see one ACOG coming out here from Moro, and that's going to be on, I forget his name, Symmetra. Yeah, Symmetra is going to be playing this Echo. I'm not too sure if he's even going to roam or if he's going to try to like hide in an undisclosed location to keep his Echo drones in play and not get fragged out. But he is the only ACOG on this defense side, which means that Moro is going to be going for I see Moro going for pretty aggressive plays. And should Hyper see that there's a more roam to anchor count here, as Classy is all the way downstairs. I think there's only one person on site. But Hyper's already making their way towards towards this balcony window. And Swaz just currently waiting to see if he can get his team going around here. As Bonalax and Bailey are currently playing upstairs. Bonalax does know that there is currently someone outside those windows with the audio cues, but just where exactly he is not too sure. And if Swaz were to punch open this window, he could potentially get the frag onto Bailey, as Bailey is making his way towards the connector, being cautious here about where the angles are coming out from these attackers. They do know that there are 2 attackers currently repelling outside of this, outside of the windows, the console windows, and Bailey's gonna get droned out here, as Swaz is coming over to peek, but not just in time. Bailey making his safe retreat here into the karaoke room, is just waiting for Swaz to come around and peek, and Swaz not really aware that Bailey has made his way back into the karaoke room. And already a minute, almost the first half of the round gone. Bailey is going to be lighting up the ashes. He's not going to hit many shots. I think only one shot on hers. Oh. Swaz is actually going to flash himself. And Bailey unaware of that, as there's currently a pilot repelling outside of this connector window, with Crater currently making his way up the yellow stairs. Pilot gets the first frag onto Symmetra. That's the Echo gone. No more plant now coming out for this Moral side. Flash coming out, and that's going to not flash Bailey Proud, as the frag is going to come out here from Bailey, as Macius is getting the frag on Bonalax with that Claymore. Shots coming out from Bailey. Is not able to hit the attackers in the connector. Bailey with 0 shots left in his assault rifle. Macius gets the frag onto Bailey, as Classy gets the shot onto Cow. 3v2 situation coming out here for the attackers, as they have the man advantage as well as the time advantages and the upstairs advantage. Moral just seemingly not ready to counter the attackers. They were able to get 2 picks off, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and I do see Hyper walking away with the win here.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a lot of control. They were able to take it in almost a split set, almost a blink of an eye. They still have Classy to deal with, who's been very strong so far, and he'll find another frag here onto Crater. That's making this a 2v2 with a low HP Thermite. No resets coming out here. They're both going to be they're both going to be stacked up on this hatch. Classy, another kill. He's doing insane. Macy's will go down, and another! Classy is nuts, and hello, highlights, if that's ever going to be a great play here from Classy. They are just letting him run around and destroy with that pulse. Amazing shot through the desk to finish off the round. Hyper had the control, but they completely failed against that UMP, the most powerful gun with Classy on board.
Wow. Okay, Hyper I'm just gonna say it. Hyper, I think, through that round, they weren't too sure of how to push to the site. They kept trying to make their push from the hatches and from the stairs. When I think they could have just easily repelled outside of those balcony windows and gone to the front door. And there wasn't much cover for Classy to be working with there. And if they were trying to, if they would have attacked from the front door, I think that Swaz or not Swaz, I think that Cow, if Cow was still alive, was Cal still alive? I don't remember. But either way, if he was still alive, one definitely gotten the frag onto Classy, and it would have just been up to the remaining defender hiding in the bathroom. But that's certainly not the case, as Hyper just tried to make their push through the stairs and through the hatch, and Classy just able to clean up the entire round all by himself.
Yeah, a really good game so far from Moral. We talked about how Hyper had an amazing first round, but Moral are definitely taking it back. They're storming the beaches, and they only got one more round to completely guarantee themselves this half. Depends on this garage take. They have been so far successful on taking upstairs and the middle floor, and now they'll go down to the final layer of Consulate if you want to exclude the tellers and archives, which I mean I don't feel like has ever been played in RCR6. I've never casted it. It's pretty. I think it's more EU meta than anything, but I've never actually casted the tellers and archives. And I feel like one day I'm gonna cast it. I'm just gonna be completely blanked out because I really have no idea how to hold that thing. But nonetheless, teams tend to not go there. That's kind of just a wild card, a six pick, if you will. So we'll have to see if this final layer is gonna work out for Moral, or if Hyper are gonna be able to take this back, because so far they're in a massive disadvantage. They're losing important players early, mainly Cow in round 2, and you lost that was it round 2? Yeah, it was round 2. Losing Cow and that Ying in round 2 is just an example, and to the dumbest thing ever. I mean, you knew where the pulse was, and now you know where Bailey Pratt is. Now the question is, will Swaz be able to find, or sorry, that's Cow. Will Cow be able to find that kill? He won't. Bailey Pratt will just run away and keep him there. He's just going to be staying and waiting for Bailey Pratt to peek again, but he's not doing that. He's rotating all the way back, and that's just kind of Moral insisting control on their enemies.
Right, and actually, I just referred back to that last round. Classy was actually onto Hyper. I do think that Hyper just got a little lost in the moment of deciding where to attack with time winding down. But you know, all that comes with practice and with not just practice, but just playing the game more, just like learning the maps, learning how to actually attack a site. They did have a good upstairs take, but once it came down to pushing the actual site, it just didn't seem like it was going to go out for them. As Bailey is currently sitting at the bottom of yellow stairs. He was going to go for a potential 2K, staying disciplined, but he does make his way back down the yellow stairs as he finally gets that drone that has been hunting him down. And a minute pushing up here, we still have not seen any action coming out from either side.
Yeah, this is kind of just a game about control, and so far Hyper have that advantage in fact that they have the garage the garage open. They have upstairs, and Pilot's now going to begin making his way down to the yellow stairs, burning out the ADSs, clearing out the barbed wire, doing that technical stuff. But they only have a minute left. They have to use his control, and I feel like that's what the problem is for Hyper, as we will see our first player going down here again to Classy. This man's absolutely insane, taking out the Jackal. And like I said, they might have all the control in the world, but the problem is they don't have an execution strategy, as we will see a concussion roll down the yellow stairs. But it doesn't even matter, as we have a cog on that angle, and it will light up the Zofia just a little bit as Bonalax gets a kill onto Macius. And with 15 seconds left, it's just going to be an absolute machine gun as we see Crater will come down here. Cow will finally find the first frag here. Classy refrag onto Pilot. It's all up to Cow with one player left on the side of Hyper. He will fall to Bailey Pratt.
Yeah, Hyper doesn't seem to be very coordinated with their attack pushes. They seem to be just all over the place, not too sure of where to attack. Almost like they're just attacking solo instead of trying to attack as. But Hyper is just maybe there's just a flutter of comms, and maybe they're not communicating properly. But after winning the first round here, I think that Rijos might have given the boost that Moral needed in order to win these last 3 rounds.
I don't know what kind of drugs they took there, but if they take any drugs, they'll get banned because that's in the rule book. You can't take drugs. Don't do that. But yeah, I don't know what's happening. Their morale has spiked up super high. We've been seeing Classy doing absolutely amazing in their. They've been doing absolutely amazing so far, and I don't know. They can't be stopped right now as they have won the half so far.
Yeah, morale just seems to be a lot more coordinated, a lot more focused compared to Hyper Academy. And Hyper just, I think Hyper has the better gun skill and the better game sense, at least individual wise, compared to the Hyper players. Um, excuse me. Hyper just not seemingly knowing, like, they start off their attacks but they don't know where exactly to develop their pushes from. They start off as a team, and then when the time comes to pushing the site, they're just scattered around. They're pushing individually, not really playing as a team, and it's just a bit of a head scratcher coming out here for Hyper.
Yeah, like you said, it's basically as if they were a bunch of soldiers just running into a trap. The moment that you separate them, that's when Moral will take advantage, and that comes at the execution. They're basically running through a meat grinder at this point. They have less time because they're spending all their time, they're spending all their manpower, all their teamwork on that prep phase. But whenever it comes time to your second part of your attack, which is taking action, which is to take the site, to do whatever, frag out, whatever it may be, that's when you lose Hyper. That's when every single Hyper player separates, becomes each other, or becomes one another. They don't work together, and they just die. It's really as simple as that. And we'll see another player go down. Crater off the board here from Bonalax, sitting on the yellow stairs. That's the basic position to play, and he ran
Wow.
up the stairs with the diffuser. Now it's a job to recover it. Bonalax knows this. This is just terrible so far for Moral, and on top of that, you have Classy playing underneath, who could absolutely wreck this entire offense up. And we can't see his scoreboard now, as obviously it's mid-action, but I mean, I must imagine he's gonna get double digits this map.
That could be true, but I don't know if they didn't drone out the yellow stairs enough. Bonalax was just sitting on top. As Classy gets another frag onto Swaz as he's currently sitting around 5 HP. But once again, like I said, Hyper just not having coordinated attacks. They're just kind of pushing solo. As Bailey is sitting underneath this window here, waiting for Cow to peek out. As Bailey's just gonna get the frag onto Cow, as Cow is just not expecting Bailey to be playing an unexpected spot. It's all up to Hyper with the last two remaining attackers to try to make something out of this. As Diffuser is still on that platform or yellow stairs. 2 minutes have gone by here, and Bonalax is sitting at the platform at the top of yellow stairs, just waiting for these attackers to try to push him, as they do need to secure that diffuser. As Bailey Pratt's gonna get another frag onto Macius and get a third onto Pilot. Bailey Pratt with an aggressive 3K, and honestly, Bailey Pratt just looking to be the better player here against Hyper.
4-1. Hyper stormed this map, took the round for their own, and here they are losing 4 more in a row. This is their pick, and they're already showing their weaknesses full in front. You had Crater run up the yellow stairs, like you said, probably undroned with the diffuser. For what reason exactly? Yes, yellow stairs control is important, but not when you have the diffuser and when you're uncertain of what's on the top.
Right,
That's like
especially when
climbing a mountain without oxygen.
especially when you're playing Thatcher, because Thatcher, in the eyes of many people, is not seen as a fragging operator. He's seen as more of like just a support to help the hard breacher, to help out his team in stopping the defenders from using their electric utility, at least for a short period of time, because he's able to destroy bandit batteries. He's able to disable default cameras, Valkyrie cameras. He's able to disrupt alibi placements. He's able to provide a lot of utility damage, I should say. But Crater just, maybe he thought that yellow stairs was clear. Maybe he got a call that yellow stairs was clear. But it could also be that he got ahead of his drone and he paid the price for it with diffuser on the stairs.
Yeah, I don't really know why you wouldn't have somebody drone ahead of you. Um, I don't know, but now it's Moral's attack. Hey, maybe, just maybe, Hyper will turn it around. They are going to start out downstairs, which is usually uncommon. I mean, it's not deadly, but the most preferred site on this map is probably upstairs in many people's eyes. Could just be that Hyper likes downstairs more than upstairs. No, every team's different, but the main point, the main thing that they want is to keep the garage door closed, and if that, keep upstairs control as well. Those are your two key points to a successful garage attack. But it already seems like one of them is looking to be stripped away by Moral, as we see Swaz peeking in the lobby stairs. If they lose upstairs control, that's just a piece of the puzzle gone. And already at half HP, now none, as he will go down already. The opening frag here, Bonalax as well onto Pilot, so it's already a 5v3. A minute hasn't even gone by, and you've lost a legion of men, of all things, a legion, and you've lost upstairs control. So that's step one. You got upstairs control. Now it's time to open up the garage wall and use that. It's so simple, and it's already done. I mean, they can abuse this upstairs for 2 minutes now. You shouldn't be losing control that easily. Hatch is going to get open. Pressure's going to start mounting. You have a Smoke and an Echo alive and a Bandit. Those are crucial operators, but you want to have at least more players with you. Now the next 3 players are stuck on site. We're going to see a drop here from the Ying to secure the kill on to the Smoke. Refrag quickly by Crater, however. Or sorry, the Zofia quickly refrag by Crater. And now getting aggressive. Step 2 done here as we see Keck going to get a kill onto Macius. And now it's up to Crater with that ACOG. He will get a secure kill here. And another here onto the Capitao. 2 more left. He could potentially clutch it if he plays this right. Plant is going to be going down here. Ying Candela is going to go out as well. He's going to have to push behind the white van. Question is he going to be able to secure the frag? No, he is not. Bailey Pratt will finish him off. And Moral are 1 round away from winning Hyper's map.
Wow. I went to go grab a drink, and the moment I came back, it's already down to a 1v4 situation with just Crater on that Echo. What just happened? Like, the Hyper just seems to be completely lost as they're getting demolished by Moral. And Moral just they're oh my god, I'm at a loss for words right now.
I don't even know what
Moral
happened.
is able to just dismantle the defensive Hyper so quickly.
I feel like the moment that Swaz decided to peek, that's what started it all. Not only because you lost upstairs control, but because you got Moral going. You got them ready. You got them hyped. You started the engine. That's what did it. It was a kill on the Swaz. You got upstairs, and that's it. You got upstairs control. You really had nothing else to do. And not, like I said, not even a minute in, 30 seconds in at that, you'd already lost 2 players and upstairs control. That should be within 2 minutes. But
At the very least, yeah.
yeah, if a team had played it right. But Hyper have not been playing it right at all. They're going to go upstairs, however. This is their last vengeance round. They are at 5-1. This is their map. And Moral are already looking to take it.
Yeah, Hyper just seems to be very uncoordinated with their playstyle. A lot of what Morale is doing right now, they just seem to be rushing into the defense of Hyper, and Hyper just doesn't seem to they don't seem to know how to deal with this kind of aggression that's coming out from Moral. And Moral is one of these aggressive teams that they have the aim and the gun skill to pretty much just enter into a room without a drone, and as the moment they spot you, if you don't have the good reaction time, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, and that's basically all it was. It was just a hand delivery of kills. And I mean, I don't know what you're ordering your mail on, but that mail delivery is fast, and oh man, is it delivering kills and control to Moral. They've got quite the pigeon, as we see Cow is caressing the oxygen, making sure it's easy to breathe there. Nice visual bug, as we will see Bonalax repelling, and he wins the fight. You cannot tell me that Macius was not able to win the fight against a repelling player that was right in front of him. Legion gone again as the opening frag.
Well, Pilot's just gonna peek around from the long desk, trying to trying to catch that drone as Bailey Pratt is just very easily able to frag him out as Bonalax gets the second frag onto Crater. Classy gets the second frag onto Swaz, and it's just a 1v5 situation for Cows. Cows easily gonna go down to Bailey Pratt. That is going to be a 6-1, very convincing victory for Moral here on Consulate.
Well, okay.
Wow. Moral just steamrolling Hyper there, and if they keep up this momentum, we could potentially see another 6-0 in Red Cube with this next map.
Well, I don't know what to say. That is a morale booster for Moral, and that's a big. I'm sorry. That's a big hole that they're gonna have to get themselves out of.
Wow. So taking a quick look at that scoreboard there, I noticed that 3 players on the Moral side had more frags compared to the entire team of Hyper. The Hyper had 7 frags in total within those last 7 rounds, and 3 players from Moral had either 8 or above. And
I mean, to be
that's
fair,
just insane to me.
To be fair, there was a rehost.
Right, but still, they still had more frags than
Yeah.
than
So
Hyper.
I mean, either way, that was just a destructive game from Hyper or from Moral. Destructive for Hyper, I guess. So real quickly, we're gonna cut to a 3-minute break here before we get on to our second map. Hopefully, it'll be maybe exciting, not as exciting as we saw. More exciting than we saw on a Consulate. So we'll see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Red Cube Hyper versus Moral match. And we are going to be going on to our second map here of Coastline. Just to recap, we saw Moral take a 6-1 victory on Consulate. Quite a dominant one at that, winning 5 rounds in a row after Hyper won the first round. But hopefully Hyper can turn it around, but it is Moral's map, so it's definitely going to be a tall task.
Yeah, Moral just Moral with a very dominant performance there on Consulate, as the first ban of the map is going to be Blackbeard. And Blackbeard can cause a ton of issues for teams on on coastline. He can sit outside of the rappel on the big window of penthouse. If you don't want to deal with the Blackbeard there, you would just choose to not go penthouse. Second ban is going to come out from Hyper, and that is going to be Lion off the board. Very typical ban. Very unfun, very unbalanced operator to play against, and yet Ubisoft still doesn't want to nerf him, doesn't want to give any kind of indication besides that one time that they mentioned in a previous patch note where they were considering of nerfing Lion. Not even confirming that they were going to change him. That they're just considering. Third ban of the map is going to be on Mira, as the fourth ban is actually going to be very immediate, and it's going to be Clash gone here from Moral. And this is going to go ahead and take care of the operator ban phase and move us into the prep phase.
So Mira, most of those bans not really surprising. I mean, Blackbeard and Clash are just nuisances to deal with, especially if you pair Clash with a teammate now, since that's kind of the only way to play her. Mira and Lion universal bans, especially on a map like on Coastline. So we're gonna have to see if Hyper are able to take this back. They are on the attack, which is usually considered the advantage, but so far it seems like Moral have been playing way better. So it just comes down to who will have an overall advantage.
Yeah, Bailey has just been Bailey and Classy together have just been on a tear. Even Bonalax too. Bonalax picking up a ton of frags for himself. Moral just steamrolling over Hyper Academy, and I think that Cow and Swaz were pretty much the only two out of the 5 players for Hyper Academy to pretty much get any frags. But it just wasn't enough to bring Hyper any more round wins, as they only won the first round and then lost 6 in a row after that. But meanwhile, the first site that we are going to be seeing here on Coastline is going to be the Hookah and Billiards Lounge site. And we'd normally see teams either go down into the kitchen service entrance or even into the pink and the blue bar. But given with the amount of attackers that have come out lately as Coastline has been out, we've seen a lot more Coastline come out. And we've seen teams shy away from that penthouse take, or from that penthouse hold, and teams just try to play away from penthouse as much as they can, opting to go for either the kitchen service entrance or the hookah and billiards, or sometimes even the blue and pink bar. And I think this season alone, we've seen, not just in Red Cube, but even like Pro League and Challenger League, whenever Coastline is played, we've seen blue and pink bar chosen a lot more this season than I think any other season.
Yeah, teams have been learning how to play blue and pink bar. I don't feel like it's a comfort pick still. Your meta sites are probably Penthouse Theater, Kitchen sometimes, and Hookah, Billiards Hookah, depending on what team you really are. It's really a balance between Hookah and Kitchen. But nonetheless, the first thing that you want to do, as we see Hyper are doing, is take control of either Penthouse or VIP. Now, the problem with this is you have Bailey Pratt sitting inside of the theater and penthouse area, and single-handedly we've seen that Moral are able to just put one pawn in a single location and it works out against Hyper. But hopefully Hyper plays a lot better, more droning, more working together, and it shouldn't be a problem. But the main issue here now is Bailey Pratt has rotated, and his location so far has been unbeknownst. His new location rather has been unbeknownst to the players of Hyper, as we will see Cal finally drone him out. So now it's just going to be a quest of trying to get Bailey Pratt out of this corner. Problem is, you do have a Maestro helping him out, so you can't actually rotate out of VIP, as we do see a 4-man push onto the penthouse. It's just a hunt right now for this Jaeger. Macius will drone him out, and we're just going to see if they're able to find him, as Bailey Pratt will just he's just sitting there still behind the couch, in the couch area. And as long as they get him out of here, which has taken half a round to do, and it's not even been successful so far, as we will see Pilot take a load of damage from Bonalax, as we talked about him setting up a crossfire onto VIP. And we do see Macy's now repelling, trying to help this out, as Buck gets a quick reset, and lots of time has been wasted here on the side of Hyper.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think that Hyper necessarily needs to be challenging from the VIP section. They can just rotate around through the theater. And Bailey Pratt going out for an aggressive run out, as oh my god, Macius is just completely unaware. And that is Diffuser down, as Bailey's gonna get another frag onto Crater. That is your Hard Breacher and your Thatcher dead off the board. And with only 40 seconds left to go here, Bailey Pratt is looking for his third kill as,
Oh my
wow,
God.
Swaz is just going to drop through the hatch without any information and pay the price for that. And Bailey Pratt's just able to read Hyper like a book. With only 30 seconds left to go here, Cal does have to go grab that diffuser and try to make his way over to the site. Bailey Pratt currently sitting below in the offices and CCTV connector. And 15 seconds left to go here. Things are not looking good for Hyper, as they could potentially lose their 7th round in a row, with Pilots still sitting in luggage. Cal going for a pre, as Cal gets 2 frags onto Moral. I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to try to find a third, but it's not going to be enough. Crater getting the 3rd frag onto Bailey Pratt, but Moral just, I think they forgot where the site was, where to plant, because we just saw a Pilot trying to keep control of luggage when he could have been helping out Cal. Instead of playing over by the main stairs, he could have pushed around and gotten the frag onto the smoke way before Cal got to the doorway.
Yeah, unfortunately there, I really feel like it was just a case of Hyper not really knowing what to do and panicking at that point. Because, I mean, if you're in the position that they were in, where they had to find 3 frags in a few seconds, that's the problem. But the main problem is the fact that they have to put themselves in that situation. They haven't been using time. That's important. They have not been using the time properly. It took them 2 minutes to try and flush out Bailey Pratt, and in the end, he got a 3K that round and basically almost single-handedly won out the round. So I'm not really sure as to why. I have no idea why it took that long to get Bailey Pratt out of there. When in the end, they didn't even kill him. They didn't flush him out. They didn't get him. They didn't put Hyper in a favorable position. He killed 3 players, and in the end, he actually, wait, no, he got to kill him to somebody. Then he dropped down. And he was killed off. There is evidence of there being no intel on the side of Hyper, and it's coming back to bite them. The control. That's what we talked about. Moral are not going to give up control easily. They're going to keep coming back, and that's what's being proved here. Like you said, their 6th round or 7th round in a row so far.
Yeah, Moral just looking very strong as Hyper just, oh wow, okay, that was a pretty close team kill. Hyper just seeming to be playing a bit tilted, and they don't seem to like I've said in the last match before, they're not playing with a lot of coordination. They're just trying to wing it and play and push the site, but they're not too sure exactly how to, like where they should be making their attack work from. They get into the building, they start to establish their presence in the VIP, but they just didn't do anything from there. They just stalled out so much of their time trying to figure out how to deal with the Maestro and Billiards, when they could have just rotated around through the theater and into luggage while droning. And Moral just seems to be a lot more focused, a lot more coordinated compared to the team of Hyper.
Yeah, I completely agree, and we see a lot more control. Moral playing way closer together to each other, and that's a massive problem. They did good by themselves, and now here they are playing together. I mean, you can't imagine what they're about to do to Hyper if Hyper don't step it up, as we will see the opening frag here go onto Pilot from Bonalax's C4. That's the buck off the board, and there goes your floor destruction, your primary floor destruction rather. And already a horrible start for Hyper, catastrophic at that, as they already lose a player. We do see Keck really low on HP on that smoke, which could be a very powerful frag if they're able to get it. But their main problem here are the 3 players sitting right outside of theater. If they don't get rid of these players, it's all over. We will see an aggressive penthouse play as Cal finally going to find a frag here that is going to be on to Bonalax.
Wow, Bailey just barely missed Macius, topping it over the VIP. I'm not too sure what his aspect ratio is, given that he didn't see, or maybe it was just the scope of his reflex just barely blocking out the Hibana. But Bailey missing a very easy frag there, as the scope of his reflex just seemed to block out the body of Macius. With 45 seconds coming up here, Plant is going to go down for Macius, as he is getting evil-eyed. He is getting called out here as Crater gets a frag onto, I can't even read that name, but either way, wow, Plant has already gone down for Hyper with a 1v3 situation. It's all up to Symmetra. Symmetra does get the frag onto Cal. Defuse is going to happen now. Crater making his way through, and Crater is going to give Hyper their first round win. And I believe that's 8 rounds? Or 7 rounds. 7 rounds, excuse me. Their first round win in 7 rounds.
It's about time. I mean, they played that really well. They deserved it. They finally played together. They played way more coordinated. And I feel like Moral, while they had players together, definitely played a little bit more separated. But nonetheless, a good round there from Hyper. Finally, like you said, taking their first round, tying this up at 1-1. So we're going to have to see if they're able to take this back. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes, because right now they're going down pretty easily. But we shouldn't be crediting Moral. We should be crediting Hyper for having a good round like that. But nonetheless, they still do have a lot of errors that they need to correct, and that's mainly their control game, especially against Moral. You can't give up control easily, and that's kind of what lost them. That's kind of what lost Moral that round. They lost a lot of control. So it was well played by Hyper. They just had to play that round. They just had to play like that was all their other rounds. If they give control, or if they get control from Moral, they have a lot going for them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So site of choice this time will be kitchen and service entrance.
I was trying
dang
to
it.
say that Moral seemed to be the more focused and more collected team compared to Hyper. Hyper somehow able to finally get their first round win within the last 7 rounds. But I honestly think that Moral will eventually learn from that mistake that they made last round. Try to not, and they won't try to over peak everything. I think it comes with the amount of confidence that they've gotten from winning their last 7 rounds. But that moment of undiscipline can come to bite you in the butt, as we saw Hyper just easily win out that round.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it really just came down to control, and you were right on your saying as well. But yeah, Moral definitely still have the upper hand if they still keep playing the way that they have been. They just kind of had an off round, while it seems like Hyper are just having off rounds over and over again. Again, 7 rounds in a row against them. It's a high streak for them to finally learn from their mistakes. Now, finally, now we're gonna see pink bar control here coming out from Hyper, different from what we saw last round, where they decided to take control of service, and that might completely nullify Moral's upstairs control. Actually, no, that's completely wrong. If they keep their upstairs control, that can be a great flank to have, but it's not going to be as impactful whenever it comes to actually spearheading your attack. It's just going to come down to later games, which we've seen Hyper have been really weak on when it comes to their executions.
Yeah, with the first minute gone here, Macius is already making his way towards this kitchen window. And we still have yet to see some gunfights happen. But Macius is trying to establish some control for his team outside of this kitchen window, as Cal is trying to go for a pre-fire through the kitchen wall with a defender. I think that's Bailey Pratt still roaming upstairs. Yeah, Bailey Pratt sitting up here in this penthouse, trying to establish a roam game going from his half the round is already gone. Drone is going to spot him out, and he is playing up here with that. I think it's the Maestro, if I'm not mistaken. C4 is going to come out here from Bonalax, as that is going to connect with Swaz. And that is the buck gone for Hyper. Very unfortunate for Hyper, as the soft destruction is going to be taken away. As wow, Bonalax with an insane shot onto Macius and getting another down onto Crater, as Cal is able to retrade that frag onto Bonalax, and Bonalax able to provide more damage than he should have been able to give, getting 2 frags and a down onto Crater. And if Crater does get picked back up, he is going to be reset at 50 HP, but with the defender sitting in courtyard, that's not going to happen, as Classy does finish off Crater, making his way down this hall. And Cal and Pilot all up to these 2 remaining attackers to try to give a round advantage for Hyper with only 35 seconds left to go.
Yeah, still have a lot of control to take, and they also have sight. So, I mean, so far, this is probably going to be a frag fest, if anything, as the diffuser is down and 25 seconds left, as the smoke is going to be able to utilize the toxic babes to the best that he can. And just absolute control here from Moral. All they're going to have to do is gun down the remaining 2 players. We will see Pilot and Cal both rotate over to the window. Their plan is going to be to grab the diffuser and try their best, because they have no way of taking control. Smoke will be extremely low on HP as we will see Cal making his way into sight, but he will be finished off by Classy. A second from Classy, and Moro will win again, making this a 2-1. And hopefully, it won't be a streak like last time. Hopefully, Hyper are able
What
to
a
pick things
flick
back
coming
up.
out from Classy. Oh my god.
Man, it's nuts.
Wow.
I
Well,
think
Moral
it's
just
the Evil Geniuses sin. I think that's what it is.
it could be the Evil Geniuses skin. Yeah, I think the spirit of Canadian and Necrox is flowing through him.
Rest of peace, BC. I say rest of peace. Rest in peace, BC.
No, you said rest in peace. But either way, Hyper just does not Cal to me it seems that Cal and Pilot seem to be the only players on this team that can actually keep themselves alive for more than 2 minutes in the round. I'm not too sure what Crater was trying to push there. Pushing solo through the hallway by himself and no one able to get the trade. But I think it was Bailey. I think it was Bailey, right? Was it? No. I forget who it was, but whoever the castle was.
Classy.
No, Bonalax. Bonalax was just able to provide so much destruction with that UMP. He took out both
Wait, I think they were both.
No, he was playing Pulse. I'm sorry. Classy was playing Castle, but Bonalax on that Pulse was able to just not only C4 the buck, which meant that the soft destruction was gone from above, but he was also able to take out the flank walk to take out the crossfire from Hibana. And honestly, I think when Classy peaked, I don't think that their Hibana player was ready for that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the over-aggressiveness of Moral working out against Hyper, who have been playing extremely slow, so it's kind of just forced control in a way. I've been talking about control a lot this game, and that's basically the word of the day, because they have... I mean, it's really important so far for these two teams. Control is seeming to be that main vocal point of who wins and who loses. So that's why I'm kind of talking about it a lot. It's probably going to get annoying soon, but if we want to stir away from that, it's the fact that it's the fact that Moral are playing over aggressive against a team that's under aggressive. That's really it. I mean, they counter each other out. If you play on attack, under aggressiveness is gonna bite you. But if you play on defense, under aggressiveness is kind of what wins you out. If you're able to be patient and just kind of wait it out while you have control, offset anchors, everything like that. That's what kind of wins it out. Is we will see
What
it
is happening? Bailey is just going for these insane run out plays and it's working out for him. Nobody is watching the run out for Bailey. Oh my goodness. Bailey just able to secure the easy frag and get away with only 30 HP. Wow. I don't have anything else to say other than wow for that kind of play.
I mean, as I was talking about, the over aggressiveness works out. Bailey has been playing with that all game. It's been successful so far. At this point, Hyper are falling to this, and he's gonna get extremely aggressive here now, playing outside of the offices, looking for a peek on a cow. This could be a great frag if he finds him. And what he could do is hop onto maybe one of the walls on the side, or the umbrella if he wants to. But nonetheless, he's just gonna be patient here. But Cow will find him dropping down. Keck will get fragged again by Cow on that hatch. Two amazing frags here on the smoke, and the over-aggressive Bailey Pratt will both fall. Two great frags, and another on the side of Classy taking out Crater. So it will even out in the end as we see Classy getting ready with his force, I guess, and it won't work out.
What
Cal,
a shot
another
from
frag.
Cal, taking out Classy, giving the man advantage to Hyper with 50 seconds left to go. Shots are going to be coming out here from Bonalax on this pixel angle behind the bomb. As it's all up to Bonalax and Symmetra with only 40 seconds left to go. Hyper does have a chance here with the man advantage and the Ying still in play. With 35 seconds left to go here, Cal is going to repel on top of these. Wow, that's very unfortunate for the Ying charge as it stays onto the windowsills. Cal's going to go for some shots here, trying to provide some covering fire for these attackers. His Pilot is making his way over from the VIP area. Symmetra getting fragged out. Symmetra getting blinded here. His Pilot does get the frag onto Bonalax. Maestro dead, but Symmetra is going to miss the shots here onto Pilot, with Pilot coming around. Pilot still standing and gets the frag onto Symmetra as Hyper is able to finally get another round win against Moral. And you know, this could possibly be the boost that Hyper needs to try to stay in this series.
Yeah, tying it up. They just need to start playing like this way more often. I feel like what it is that they're getting extremely underconfident with themselves. Like you said, this is a major boost for them. And we're gonna have to see if it works out because they have been playing extremely sloppy, but they've been playing better than they have been on Consulate. So now it comes down to the final round. And since it is a tie or a final round of the half, and since it is a tie, it'll the winner of this will win the half, which is in itself a good morale boost as well. So this round is in importance whenever it comes to the mental game, which I definitely feel like Hyper are kind of teetering on. But so far, finally waking up. Hopefully, they're going to be able to start playing like this again. They need to counter this over aggressiveness from Moral, mainly Bailey Pratt and Classy, as they are your two main fraggers. But hopefully, they're able. If you kind of stop this over aggressiveness, you can stop around for Moral.
So here's how you stop Bailey. He's always going to be super aggressive. He's going to overpeak everything. He's not really aware of where his feet are going. He's just pretty much just looking at head level. The moment he peeks around a corner, he's already got it locked onto your head. So if you're playing on a window or you're playing on a spot where you know that Bailey Pratt is near and he can jump out on you from, just place a claymore at the bottom of that window. That trade on Bailey could have happened so much sooner if one, Swaz has someone watching his run out besides himself, and two, they have a claymore there at the bottom of the window. I don't know if it was Pilot that was. I think Pilot was playing on that Zofia, but I don't know if he was taking either a claymore or breaching charges. But my personal opinion, when you're playing Zofia on this map, unless you're attacking downstairs in the kitchen and service entrance, I don't think it's a good idea to be taking breach charges, because you already have 2 of those breach impacts. So just take the claymore and place it at the bottom of the penthouse window. So the next time that Bailey rushes out on you, if he gets the frag, fine. You know, it's not gonna be the end of the world, because that claymore at the bottom of the window will be able to retrade and secure the down at least onto Bailey if they don't have that rook armor.
Yeah, like you said, claymores can definitely work out. We see a lot of operators that could potentially bring claymores. Zofia, Hibana, or does Hibana? No, Hibana doesn't have claymores anymore. Zofia, Ying, and Thatcher can all bring claymores. We will see Thatcher on one, but I also feel like breaching charges are an accepted gadget on this map. They can definitely work out for you. As we will see Swazi opening frag onto Classy. That's a huge frag, a great player off the board. And we will see an excessive drone amount. We will see Cal secure a kill, but be immediately refragged by Bonalax. Nonetheless, you have a Jaeger down. You have Bailey Pratt down. That's your team captain. Yet you lost a Ying. Almost maybe as important as 2 players there. So in the end, you have the main advantage on the side of Hyper, but geez, is losing a Ying very important.
Right. Not only is that Ying, but it's also one of their primary top fraggers. As Cow has just been pretty much dominant against Moral on this coastline map. And given that the Ying is dead and she was able to get 2 for 1 with her body, it's pretty much all up to Pod in terms of fragging potential. As Swaz has just been not looking so hot, and Macius and Crater on the support roles. They're not expected to frag. If they do get frags, it's fine, but they're not expecting to frag out. The other 2 players coming out from Swaz and Pilot, they need to fulfill those fragging roles and try to do their best to shut down Moral. And big props to Bailey for big props to Cow for shutting down Bailey very early on. With a minute left to go here, we're going to be seeing some Hibana pods going out, as that is going to be Bonalax currently playing down the hallway. But he is going to be retreating towards these stairs here, and Symmetra is just waiting for the attackers to make their push down the Hall of Fame. As I think Keck is currently playing on top of this hatch, but he looks away for just a second. That's going to be very unfortunate timing, taking out a smoke grenade as Pilot gets the frag onto Keck. No more smoke. And it's all up to Bonalax and Symmetra as Swaz gets the frag onto Bonalax, all up to the Maestro with 30 seconds left to go. Plant has gone down. And it's all up to Symmetra to find 3 frags and a diffuser. Crater's just sitting here, and Crater does get fragged by Symmetra. 3v1 situation here coming out for Symmetra. Symmetra's getting shot here, and Macy is finally able to find a frag onto Symmetra and give Hyper another round. And Hyper is not walking away from Coastline without a fight.
Finally, Hyper win a round. Hyper take the advantage. Hyper take the half. This is the Hyper that we've all been wanting to see. This is the Hyper that has been hiding from us, that has been waiting And finally, it's been out in full use. They finally started playing like themselves now. They've swooped away the mental game. They've got the confidence now. They're playing like a team. They have coordination now, something that they've been lacking recently. So, I mean, so far they've been playing great, but now with the half switch, moving on into what is known by the community as your least favorable side on Coastline, the defense, sorry. Let's hope that they're able to keep this ball rolling. I'm sure we all wanted an interesting match, 13th place versus 14th place, and finally,
Attackers need to
it
locate
seems like
and
that's what we're
defuse
getting.
bombs.
Yeah, so moving on to the change of sides here, we do see Hyper actually sitting on top after the first half, and honestly, I was not expecting this. I was expecting Moral to be on top here, but given that Moral's over aggression kind of bit them in the butt, the last 2 rounds, it gave Hyper the the bit of boost that they needed, I guess, to kind of just settle in. And if Pilot and Cow just continue this duo frag going out from the both of them, I do see Hyper walking away with this map winning in their favor.
Yeah, and this is a map for Moral, so they have been stepping it up a lot more. But right now we see an interesting strat. I'm not sure if they're in a setup, but we have 5 players sitting downstairs and I guess an argument on who peeks what. As we, oh no, that's so. I'm pretty sure I was the only one. I don't know if I was the only one who caught that, but Pilot was putting down ADS right next to the Dokkaebi. Sort of just ironic, I guess. As we see Bonalax going to be using his concussive mines to clear up the ADS and unfortunately miss the Maestro Cam. That could be a good, that's a good, a waste of utility there. Using all of her, or no, we're using one of her concussions and both of her impact nades. So already, Zofia losing her utility.
Right, as she's only down to 2 concussion mines. Classy that was one of my parents sneezing, but Classy currently placing a breach charge as there's just a cluster of Moral players sitting up in the penthouse.
Oh jeez.
And we could be seeing a breaching charge kill coming out from. Wow, Classy not able to find the breach charge kill as Macius is just sitting right underneath the doorway here. And should a Moral player come around, I think he can get that frag. But Classy's not able to spot anyone through the floor just yet, as I don't think that part of the penthouse floor is penetrable, with Bonalax sitting outside the kitchen window and over half the round gone. Things are not looking good for the Moral side.
Yep, so they seem like they have their strategy ready. They're gonna decide to push into service. They have upstairs control, so all the power to them, but they have yet to kill a player. Neither of the teams have gotten a player. But in the end, this is just a glorified funnel strategy, as Keck will find the opening frag. Classy with another onto Crater. That's Macius and Crater both down. You're smoking your Maestro. 2 extremely important post-plant operators down. And Keck is going to begin going for the plant. Dokkaebi clubs are going to ring out here. And
What a
Swaz able to
shot
find
from
a frag.
Swaz! As the team kill is going to come out from, I think it's Bonalax, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but either way, that's actually Symmetra that's going to find the team kill. And eventually a trade onto the defenders. It's all up to the German GSG9 operators, as Bonalax is going to get the frag through the drone hole, and Pilot getting a frag onto the Dokkaebi. In a 1v2 situation with less than half of the defuse phase gone here. I don't see Hyper being able to win out this round, as Pilot just confused as to where to push from. Bonalax waiting for the peak to happen. Tindella going to be coming out here, and Hyper just does not have any kind of time to make a move here. And Pilot gets the frag onto Bonalax. What a shot! But it's still not going to be enough, as he cannot find the defuse in time, and Moral will finally win an attack round here to tie it up at 3-3 apiece.
Yep, so pretty easy round there. Once you lost your smoke and your Maestro, after that it was just kind of an easy ride there for Moral. Once they got the plant down, you really had everything going for you at that point. So not too surprising to see them win that round out. Unfortunately, it seems like Hyper have lost their mojo, and we're gonna have to see if they're able to pull it back, because they have been playing better than they have been on Coastline. They're tied right now 3 apiece. against Morrow. So still playing pretty good. It's not over yet. There's no way we can't count it quits. But the way that Morrow have been playing, they've been playing significantly better than Hyper.
Yeah, but Hyper just blowing out my not I don't think just my expectations, but I think even chat's expectations. With being up 3-2 at the end of the first half, I don't think anyone saw this coming. Um, Moving on to the 7th round, we are going to be seeing Hyper playing in the hookah and billiard site, and the last time that we saw excuse me, trying to find the name. Last time we saw Moral play here, it almost worked out for them, but Hyper was just able to just sneak by. And honestly, if Cal didn't find those 4 frags onto Moral, I think that round could have gone very south for Hyper. And I think the top 2 players from Hyper are going to have to be Cal and Pilot, as they've just been so consistent in working together and dropping frags together. They seem to be the heart and soul of this Hyper squad.
Yeah, you have Macy. You have I believe I think it's Macius on the IGL role, and Crater kind of sitting behind him as the secondary chairman. But I would agree with you. Cow and Pilot have been probably putting on the better performances of the team. Not really good performances from anyone else. Swaz he's been excellent whenever it comes to control. He's kind of been that forefront player, as he is going to be sitting inside of the theater in hopes of kind of establishing control across the entire top floor. But already an opening frag here on the DMR of Symmetra onto Pilot, an opening frag onto Jaeger. Not a huge operator down, but like we said, Pilot and Cow have been spearheading this game, and it'll be Pilot to fall first to a very unnecessary kill. I mean, you should know that, or you should at least be wary of that courtyard peak, and it will work against him in the end. That'll be your Jaeger down, and Bailey Pratt immediately taking control here. Another kill here from Bonalax on to the castle. That's Macius down, and he's only going to have to IGL from the grave, as we will see Candelas going down here, and a third kill from, or sorry, a second kill from Bonalax here, third for Moral, and a third for Bonalax now. A 1v5 left. He will be blinded, however, site control in the hands of Moral. It's going to have to be a retake here from Swaz. The 1v5. Doc is a good operator for this, but oh geez, it's a 1v5 a mounting task with the diffuser now going down here. The ACOG operator has a lot to go against. Second Logic Bomb will go out here just to make his life a lot harder than it already is, and he's going to be peeking down, almost preserving his life. He will try and find the first kill onto Bailey, but he won't! And onto Bonalax, and Bailey Pratt will steal the kill away, and a flawless round from Moral, making this a 4-3, taking 2 rounds in a row, and it definitely seems like Moral are back.
Yeah, Hyper looking very dominant that round. I'm not too sure what happened with Hyper. I did see a lot of over-aggression coming out from Cow, as I don't think he needed to necessarily run out from the hookah balcony and peek. But Hyper just looking completely lost on how to defend hookah and billiards.
Yeah, they lost control super easily. I mean, you saw Bailey Pratt inside of luggage, basically just ignoring Swaz. So I'm not really sure as to what happened there. I feel like that could have been played a lot better from Hyper if they, or from Hyper had they had way more players inside a theater, at least have way more control, because the only control you had was the only offsite control you had was one player sitting inside a theater. So that setup in general was kind of just flawed from the start.
Yeah, Hyper have been very close with Moral on this map. Not so much when it was on Consulate, but it could be that there are just a better coastline team. We could be seeing a difference coming out from Hyper, given that they're playing a different site in the blue and pink bar. Maybe they have a better site hold compared to their hookah and billiards take. But if Crater dies very early on in this round, it could be a round-winning kill for Moral. As not only is it the Maestro gun, but it's also a ton of plants now gone with those Evil Eyes not being able to function anymore. I guess Desmond was having
Sorry.
a minor technical difficulty there. But Bailey Pratt and Bonalax are making their way over to the Hook Lounge here. And Bailey currently droning out as he is going to be spotting out that bandit of Pilot in the Hookah Lounge, as Bailey Pratt is possibly going to potentially toss in a Candela, as Keck is currently droning out the Hookah Lounge. Bailey Pratt just waiting for the call to toss in a Candela and make his way in the site. There is a rotation there on the stairs as the attackers are currently making their way through. And it looks like Pilot is able to get away very safely and securely with these shotgun holes coming out. We could potentially see some crossfires coming out from is there even anyone playing an aquarium? I don't think so.
Really sure. No, there isn't.
No, there's not even playing aquarium. So could be that they just set up a diversion, and it looks like it worked out very well, as it's going to take off a minute of the attacker's time. And Pilot has made his way back down into the kitchen site, with Crater currently playing in the service entrance here, as the site still is pink and blue bar. They have already given up control upstairs, so the attackers do have a lot of time to work with and time to make a nuisance of this floor above the site.
Yeah, they upstairs control is really crucial when it comes to Pink Bar, and Keck is gonna secure the opening frag here. I'm gonna smoke another plant denial operator down. That's Cow as well. So another kill from Bonalax Maestro. Both of your plant denial operators down again. We saw this once and it's happened again. However, Swaz going to try his best to even it out, getting a kill onto Zofia on the Cool Vibe stairs. With a minute left, however, you have so much control here from the side of Moral, and no plant denial whatsoever, unless you count the nitro cell on the side of Bandit to definitely help out. But while you have upstairs control, you still have site control on the side of Hyper, as we do see Pilot able to get a kill onto Classy. That's your IQ down, as the first logic bomb will go out, and it seems like a blue bar take will be the take of choice, as we see players positioned inside our office. Flashbangs will get tossed out, and we will see Bailey Pratt
coming out from Bailey is...
kill.
Wow, why is Keck peeking into his pre-fire? Why doesn't he just get the wall open? What are you doing? Meanwhile, even man count going out here as Bailey Pratt is trying to get the bomb planted, the diffuser planted, excuse me. And it's all up to Macius and Pilot trying to make their way, as another smoke grenade is coming out here. As the C4 is going to find the body of the Ying, and diffuser still hasn't gone down. 20 seconds left to go. It's all up to Symmetra. In a 1v2 situation, although the castle is on very low HP, you do have that strong fragger of Pilot on 100 HP. Symmetra trying to make his way into the site. Meanwhile, as he picks up the diffuser, he's going to try to make his way from the blue bars. Wow! Macy is finally able to shut down Moral, and that's going to tie things up here at 4-4 apiece, bringing Hyper and Moral to a tie on Coastline.
Well, I said that upstairs control would help out Moral a lot, but in the end, they did lose a round. Amazing plays there from both the Castle of Macius and Pilot on Swaz, utilizing their Nitro Cell, or the Pilot on Swaz. I really hate my English today. The Bandit on Pilot, doing absolutely amazing work with that Nitro Cell to deny plant once, and an unfortunate team kill, which almost kind of changed the way the round played out, in the way of you had that demoralization. You had a player down. I mean, your dedicated planter was dead. Bailey Pratt was gone. Your Ying was gone. A lot came down to that team kill. Or sorry, I don't think Bailey Pratt. Wait, I can't exactly remember.
No,
what happened,
Bailey
but...
got the frag onto Keck as he was pre-firing the rotation hole.
Okay.
And
so...
for some odd reason, I have no idea why, Keck just walks right into his pre-fire crouch height and just gives his life away to Bailey. I don't know if there was any bandit charges on those walls, but still, like, you could have, even though the Zofia was gone, you still had any kind of operator actually to just try to shoot at the charges. You still had the Ying to work with. He could have droned out the site to make sure that it was clear, or maybe even if your Thermite still had a drone, he could have droned it out to make sure that it was clear, and even check to see if there was even batteries there without trying to sacrifice his life away. Just a bit of a head scratcher coming out from Moral, as they just seemingly just gave away that round, because with Symmetra and Bailey, it was just up to them to themselves. This Pilot was just able to toss a beautiful C4 through the blue bar doorway and landed directly onto him. Symmetra just made a pretty questionable play. I guess he was afraid that he was going to get peeked from the courtyard, as he knew that the castle was there. But still, even when he ran around to the court, he didn't try to peek and try to frag out the castle. But either way, that's not going to matter, as Moral and Hyper are going to be tied up at 4-4 apiece. And we're moving on to round number 9 here, excuse me, with Keck currently droning out the VIP lounge, trying to give information to his team. They are going to be trying to take the control of the map from the hookah and aquarium side.
Yep, and it seems like they already have control of hookah, which is a good place to start. And they're going to be making their way down the hall, but they do have Swaz, I believe, or that is Pilot on the bandit sitting at the end of the hall. But Bonalax is just rushing in. I mean, amazing, excellent drone work here from Symmetra to just allow Bonalax to walk in. And Bailey Pratt, however, will not have an easy, as easy.
What
as
are you?
the
Stop
job.
standing in front of your teammates. Get the wall open. Oh my God.
And
Wow,
Keck will go
Swaz is
down.
going to come around and get the frag onto Keck. That's still going to be Bailey Pratt at 50 HP, somehow miraculously getting up. And now that your thermite is gone, you have no more hard breacher. What are you doing? Get the wall open.
Well, unfortunately, that's no longer an option. as
Oh
we
my
did see
God.
A lot of clumsiness on the end there of Moral. They rushed into VIP and Bailey Pratt didn't have it as easy as a job, and I don't feel like it was at the job of Keck to try and secure that. But nonetheless, a frag fest here for Moral as Bonalax gets a kill on the crater and a down onto the castle. I believe that was from Bonalax at least. And he's going to try and look for that down player and thirst that up, but not able to do that just yet. Minute remaining, and the man advantage so far as we see Bonalax will get the kill on Timasius. And a minute left here, and it's a 2v4. Hyper have a lot against them right now. As the Candelas will come on out here onto Pilot, who's also getting a phone from his mom to make sure to take the cookies out of the oven. And it will be Bonalax here to secure the kill onto Pilot, or Bailey Pratt to secure the kill on the Pilot. And Bonalax is having a hard time with this smoke, and he's going to inhale the gas, but run through anyway as he gets the kill onto Cal. Moral going to be at match point. Not as easy as a task as they had on Consulate. It's a 5-4. Hyper is not done yet, but have Moral been playing excellent? Yes, they have, and they only need one more round to secure this game.
So, very questionable plays coming out from Keck. Within at least the past 2 rounds, I did notice that on the last round when the attack was making their way from the hookah balcony into hookah itself, Keck was the first one to enter hookah, even though it was clear he should not be the first one entering to site. And just as we saw this previous round, Keck is watching the same exact angle as Bonalax. Like, if you're thermite, you should not be peeking. The last thing you need to be doing is peeking anything. Your main job is to get that wall open before you even get into a gunfight. And if you do get into a gunfight beforehand, you need to make sure that you win that so you can try to at least get your team some kind of entrance into the site without having to go through VIP. But Keck is maybe just trying to go for some flashy plays. Maybe he thinks he can be a fragmite. But if you're trying to win out this map and make it a 2-0, just play smart, play safe. Don't over peek, don't be over aggressive. Let your other 4 main fraggers do the peeking. There's no need to try to waste your life away and go for a potential second team kill when you just got team killed the round before that costed your team.
I feel like what it really came down to was the fact that Keck was the operator who decided to go save the Ying, and he had a lot of utility, and going into a dangerous area, it's like running into no man's land. There have been many stories about no man's land, and that's basically what just happened. He ran into an open field with crossfires on him to try and res a teammate who was less important to him at the time. If he would have gotten the wall open, sure, but he didn't. He decided to switch gears, go for the revive, and in the end, it didn't work out. They lost their thermite permanently, and they couldn't get the wall open. They still won the round, though. That should be said. They still won the round. Hyper didn't play that right. They didn't set themselves up like turrets. They rather just sat in corners and waited. There, you have no control. You have no precision. Players started to fall. You only had 2 left. All of a sudden, the entire attack is collapsing upon you. Moral are a team that is able to adapt to their scenario, and that's what's been shown. Through 2 team kills, they've been able to secure themselves at match point, and while the first round was definitely detrimental, still, nonetheless, they are here, as we will see Keck going for the wall inside a kitchen. This could be a great wall if he gets it open, and there's no problem whatsoever with that. We do see Pilot above, not doing really anything at all inside of the Pilot and Swaz. Sitting above, not really doing anything. First electric bomb is going to come out here from the Dokkaebi. Keck, with the wall open now, is going to be holding the angles to see if he can just find anybody. And in that dangerous position is the castle And if they're able to find this castle, I can really help out for them because he's pinned down. But he's able to find a kill in this position that's so unfavorable for him. He's gonna peek again, but Keck will finally smash his head against the pots with that bullet and finish him off, making this a 4v4. Dokkaebi down. That's your universal operator off the board, but we do see Pilot sitting inside of security. Could do wonders here if he gets a refrag or a man advantage. As we do see Swaz pushing up here onto the blue bar, we have Bailey Pratt sitting there, and it's just going to be who wins the angle, and it will be Bailey Pratt, his Claymore at least, to finish it off. And site control in the hands right now of Moral. What is happening? And Smoke not able to do anything, nor the Maestro as the plant goes down. Now it's a retake, and it won't be in their favor as Machias not able to control the recoil, pulling a knowledge. That's the last time I ever say that. As the recoil will not favor him.
What is
and
happening?
The kill on to Machias. But now it's up to Pilot. He has to secure this kill. He has to secure these kills, but it won't happen. Bailey Pratt with another, and Moral 2-0 will win against Hyper.
What just happened? What am I watching? What is going on? What, like, okay. What? I am at a loss for words at what just happened in these last 30 seconds. Hyper just getting super, like, they're playing without their head on. It's almost like you're watching a chicken with its head cut off. My goodness. Even though they were able to bring Moral to a 6-4, they could have easily won a few more of these rounds without, like, making these boneheaded plays. What, like, I'm just so confused as to what's happening with the decision making in these players.
Yeah, in the end, each player had their mistakes, but the one to iron it out the most was Moral. They played amazing on Coastline, or on Consulate, sorry, and while a tough fight on Coastline, we're able to secure it. So we will cut into a 3-minute break and be back with our interview here. That will be Uzumaki and Red. That'll be it for me for this match, and I believe we are going to be doing the 10 match between Viper and Helm as well, so that won't be it forever. I will see you then, and we will cut to our break just to get things set up, and we'll see you then.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for the Hyper versus Moral match. And that was a very, very interesting matchup, I think, to say the least. There was multiple plays where it looked as if it was in one team's favor, and then it quickly turned into the other team's favor. But nonetheless, in the end, Moral coming out with a quite convincing victory over Hyper, and Hyper still digging their hole just a little deeper. They can't quite find themselves out of it yet, and they just kind of got to get back to the drawing board, figure some things out, because today just was definitely not their best showing. Moral, on the other hand, yes, they got the win, but there was quite a lot of mistakes throughout the entire way. We saw some weird pushes, some over-aggressive play, some super passive play. Things were, I think, just to say the least, we're all over the place today. It was just a very back and forth matchup, but back and forth in a way that I don't think we've seen yet this season, which is always so entertaining to watch. And I thank all of you guys for sticking around and tuning in. But we are going to be hopping in to that interview channel right now, just to get a little bit of a glimpse on what was going on through the minds of all these Moral players, and exactly how did they kind of shape up for this match, and how did they feel in the match, and what they looked like, what they looked forward to in the future. So I'll be hopping into that channel right now, and we can see exactly what was going through their head. Hello?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? All right, so I'm just gonna get right into it here, guys. So first question, obviously, you guys and Hyper have very similar records, almost identical. And then coming into this game, obviously you guys are at kind of the lower half of the leaderboard. What did that do? How did that change your mindset? What did you guys need to change to secure the W today?
Well, first off, we had a big roster change. Like,
yeah,
we pretty much completely overhauled our team, and it's working out pretty well. I feel it. These guys are really good, and I love working with them. I love playing this game. It feels very tactical when I'm playing with them.
Yeah,
and it's just every single time we're playing, it's just like we call it out. It's clear, concise, and then we just execute. Sometimes we make mistakes, but you know.
Yeah.
Check who's not here.
Yeah, we commented on that. There was, I think, a couple of times where it seems as if he kind of wanted to peek right in front of, I don't know exactly who it was in every moment, but somebody's crosshairs. He just wanted his head to be right there. It was rough. It was rough. But overall, you guys did get the win, so you got the job done. But my second question actually kind of relates to what you were saying. Was you guys came into this matchup, had a lot of roster changes, and now are coming out of this. Are you expecting to change anything, or did you really like where the team was at today? Obviously, you've kind of already hit on that, but maybe could you elaborate just a little bit more how you felt with the team today?
I think we did pretty good today. Obviously, there was those mistakes at coastline, but that's okay. In the end, we got the win. Coming in to this match with, like, I think it was a 0-3 or maybe like 1-3.
1-3, yeah.
You know, it's not that bad. I remember my old football coach. He always bring up this example. Back in 2011, my high school, they were down 3 into the season, and morale was really low. And a lot of the starters, they just left because they weren't having fun because they were losing all the time.
Yeah.
And all the people that were runners up, they worked their ass off, and
yeah, they
brought it back, and they won state championship that year. So, you know, anything's possible, and with the right mindset and energy.
Absolutely. That was, I'm gonna be honest, that was a really good answer. That was beautiful. Yeah. I'm gonna shed a tear over here. Thank you so much. But that's all my questions. Uzumaki, do you have any?
No, just I noticed that after the rehost on console, you guys just changed gears and won 6 in a row. What was your mindset going into console after the rehost?
So Keck disconnected, so we were kind of like, oh, Keck, but got back, and we made some slight adjustments to that strat, and then it worked out that round, and we just kept carrying it all the way to the end.
Nice. And then going into coastline, what were your thoughts?
We just it's just the same thing. Just played our best, and came out on top.
Yeah, right. I noticed that you guys are a lot more concise and a lot more coordinated, at least from the spectator cam, that your pushes and the way that you guys play, at least on defense and attack, you guys are a lot more coordinated, a lot more focused. You know what you're doing. You're not lost too much of the time compared to Hyper.
Yeah, sometimes like we'll get stuck on something like right. Tech dying and we don't have VIP open, and then it was just like, well, our only option's really theater. There's no way we're gonna survive going the other way.
Right.
Pushed and made it work. We just.
A lot of credit to Bailey on the IGL role.
Yeah, I did see like a lot of like if something wasn't going right one way, you guys just tried at least to adapt and rotate around another way, and usually would end up working out for you guys because Hyper was just like would like look at you guys focusing so much on one area, and then
Totally forget about
like
another side
for this
or
one round on
side.
Consulate that they should have won, but they didn't. They cleared out all of you guys upstairs, your 3 roamers upstairs, leaving just the 2 anchors down on site. They had a number advantage with a minute left to go. Yet they were stalling. You guys just managed to stall their attack as they were trying to make their way down the yellow stairs, and Classy just getting a massive 4K that round. I was just blown away.
Classy fucking killed it.
He's the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you guys there was so many glimpses of adaptability, and obviously Canadian said this in an interview during invitationals, which was adaptability is everything. So you guys really proved that today, and it was a really good matchup. You guys got the win, and obviously it's really good. Like you said, coming in 0-3 or 1-3 actually, it's good to kind of get that win, get your confidence back, and then look forward to the next week. So again, guys, thanks so much for sticking around. Really appreciate you guys, and I wish you guys the best in the kind of weeks to come.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You have a good day, my guy.
Yeah, you too. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the Moral versus Hyper match. And all I want to say is, just before I kind of get into everything, that was probably one of the best interviews I've actually had, and I want to just give a lot of credit to Bailey there, because it was really well spoken. And I obviously I've had interviews with quite a lot of people in this league and things like that, but his answers I really enjoyed. I don't know if it was maybe just my mood today, but that was a lot of respect to Bailey Pratt and a lot of respect to his team. Obviously, they kind of came into this a little bit rough, but they got out and secured the W, which is kind of the main goal of everybody here. But that's not going to be it for tonight. Yes, Moral versus Hyper ended in 2-0, but we are going to be seeing Viper versus Helm. So that's going to be coming up quickly after this. Obviously it's going to be at 10 Eastern, but because we ended a little bit early for this game, we might potentially have an opportunity to start that game early for you guys. I will let you guys know. Obviously I will keep the countdown running, and you'll just see maybe the time will tick down or go up. Just kind of depends. I'll keep you guys updated as far as that goes, but that's going to be it for now. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Helm versus Viper coming up very, very shortly. Let's see who's going to be continuing their winning ways. Is it going to be Viper, who have been hot as a pistol, or is it going to be Helm, who are still kind of searching for their ground in the league? Best way to find out is with time, and in about maybe an hour, we're going to see that. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Helm versus Viper coming up.
was already shattered. Holding on to what we have and take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have and take us to the edge and back. Yeah, You're paranoid. You claim this love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have and take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have and take us to the edge and back. Yeah.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so just a quick update. I'm actually going to cut the VOD off here, and then I'll come back in probably like 10 minutes, just so I can ensure that the VODs don't connect, and it'll just be easier for the future viewing for all teams and things like that, and as well as just putting it on the YouTube and the website. So I'm going to cut off the stream right now, but stay tuned and we will reignite it in about 10 minutes. Countdown will still be the same. We're going to be starting at 10 Eastern, as all the players have set their clocks, and all of the viewers, you guys should set your clocks as well. And we'll be right back at 10 Eastern, getting ready for the Helm versus Viper matchup.